Okay, so we're live, and so it's a rainy day today here in Westaco, Texas. There's a tornadoes I hear around Laguna, something like this. That's what I heard, but still we're here. And today I wanted to go into creating energy. Okay, so if we think about creating energy and why we want to do it and how to do it. So creating energy. Life is about energy. So energy, as far as how much energy you bring to a room, how much energy and effort you put into an exercise, how much energy you put into a dance, how much energy you put into reading, focus, energy. So how do you create energy? Okay, and why? So I'm gonna write this down actually and sort of show it on this paper, what and how and where to create energy. Okay. So you wake up, right? So let's just say we'll start with a little bit before that. You go to sleep. A good time of sleep for the body to recover is about 7 hours to 8 hours, right? That's a pretty well accepted feeling of sleep. They say the body's rested, it's sort of gone through a hormonal change, and it's put itself in a state of recovery. The reason we sleep is to create energy, let the body heal, go through a restorative process, and come back stronger. So sleep is essential to the creating of energy. Hormones are produced during the nighttime, more testosterone for women, estrogen cycles, and so going to sleep is so important to the actual creating of energy because the body is put in a state of recovery. New hormones are produced as far as replenishment of the body, and the brain take a break, sort of disconnect, and go into a state of reparation and sort of stop consuming energy to a high degree, right? So sleep. And then when we wake up, attaching yesterday's lessons, affirmations, right? As soon as you wake up, it's a good time to pray and go to affirmations. In my humble opinion, some people would say no, it's not the right time, there's better times, but the reason being is that your mind is fresh. You start moving it in the direction that you want, okay? You start moving it in the direction that you want to propel your mind, and then your mind begins to produce attitudes and then energies with that attitude, right? So you slept, now you starting to input ideas in your mind. I used to listen to affirmations by Deepak Chopra. He would go from A to Z, like I forget someone, but this was like 2009. But affirmations, and that was, so I go through those affirmations in the morning, okay? One of the ones I've been saying for so many years now, like it's literally been since it's almost 10 years, dude. Almost 10 years since I've been saying, today I begin a new life. It's crazy. Like, today I begin a new life. It's so crazy to say that for 10 years. But Matthew McConaughey, once in an interview, he read a book. It was called The Greatest Salesman in the World, and he said that he read this book, and it's true. The most important person that we need to sell an idea to is ourselves, because that affects our psychology, and our psychology affects our attitude, and our attitude affects the way we communicate, and communicate affects our life, okay? So affirmations, Matthew McConaughey, The Greatest Salesman in the World, that book made a lot of difference to him, and it's done a lot of difference for me. So affirmations is a good way to start propelling energy in the direction that you want it, by tapping into the psychology, the subconscious, and pushing the body forward. Now you may think that that's not important. That's fine. I mean, I know the sleep one is pretty well accepted as pretty. Food. Quality nutrients. The body is composed. Food is pretty simple as far as what it is. Food is generally going to be proteins, which are macronutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. So nutrition is pretty simple when you think about it like that. Proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. So the quality of fat does make a difference to the energy. Carbohydrates, the quality of the carbohydrates does play a role in energy, and proteins do play a role also, as well as quality of energy and recovery for the muscles. A good source of protein, for example, an excellent profile is salmon because of its fatty acids. It's got omegas, which is good fats and good protein. So salmon is a really good choice for protein. A less better choice, or a choice that isn't as good, maybe like pork, right? Still not a horrible choice, but more of the bad fats, But I'm sure there's a time for pork, right? Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are essential into the brain. That's sort of the brain's preferred food, and so it's quick energy. So carbohydrates are essential for energy, and a good source of carbohydrates. For years, I would eat oatmeal and egg whites, and like spinach in my egg whites. And then like a little bit of butter spray, and then peanut butter in my oatmeal, a little honey, raisins and stuff. I mean, that was back then. That was such a good breakfast. I think I overdid that breakfast. I would eat it all the time, to the point where I don't necessarily miss it, but I do miss it. But it's like I went really into it. Like I just dedicated so much of my life to that breakfast. So think about fats. Avocado is a good source of fats. So is omega oils, avocado oil, olive oil, peanuts, almonds. These are great ways. These are all great foods to create energy. Less superior fats would be just like grease. Just fats that are just extremely not high quality. The better the fat, usually you're going to usually pay a little more. If you're going to pay a little bit for your fats, you're going to have very, very bad fats. That's typically the rule there. One of your best fats will be like your avocado oil and your olive oil and your grapeseed oil and macadamia nut oil. Okay, so those are all ways to create energy with food. So and then we're going to touch upon the last way to create energy, as far as scientifically speaking. Okay, the last way you create energy, scientifically speaking, is exercise. The thing about exercise is it's interesting because you create energy with exercise, but you spend energy. So you spend energy and you spend time, but it livens the body up, so it actually creates energy. Okay, so your body produces more energy because you spent energy, and that's a paradox. Okay, so the reason it's going to do that is because the heart's going to be more. It's going to spend less energy to beat all day because it's a stronger heart, so it's going to go versus. Make sense? So you're not going to feel that heart working as hard throughout the day, even though during that hour it's going to be working pretty hard. But do the rest of the 24 hours, it's going to work less hard. Make sense? So you have 23, 22 hours where that heart's going to beat less, right? It's just having a more powerful motor. So let's start with that. Also, there's things like dopamine that help the body become addicted to exercise and feel good. All right. So dopamine is one other aspect of the energy. Less body fat. Less body fat on the frame. Okay. So you're now going to, your blood flow is going to be more smooth. You're not going to be like feeling as heavy. And so losing body fat also helps produce energy. Okay. So I wanted to kind of go into what I think is some of a common pitfall, and then go into a better strategy. So we take the getting sleep, the affirmations, the food, and the exercise, and maybe what you may ask yourself, why aren't you doing one of them? Okay. So this is what I imagine a typical situation may be of why you may not be doing this. So you wake up, rush to get ready, rush, don't eat any breakfast, and then get to work, get tired, happy hour sometimes, sleep, something like that. Okay, so in one situation you're waking up, rushing to work, so you know affirmations, so you didn't feed your mind any good kind of vibes, any kind of good positive mental attitudes, what you really desire for yourself, you didn't take any time to gravitate towards an intention, a philosophy. Okay, you didn't feed yourself philosophy. So if you didn't do that, the thing is that, let's say you get in your car and now you're going to hear other philosophy. Let's say you turn on the radio and they say, oh, this life sucks, there's war, there's radiation, there's like all kinds of crap going on, right? So now your fragile mind is going to be fed very bad things, negative things, right? One person put it like this, and I like the Rolling Stones and everything, to some degree. They made some pretty good songs, but he went into this song. He's like, people listen to this song called "I Can't Get No Satisfaction." So, you think about it, you're saying this to yourself. In a way, it's an affirmation, right? And then you may not be satisfied if you think about it. You're like, well, why am I not satisfied? And again, doesn't mean necessarily if you listen to that song you're not going to be satisfied, as much as there's a connection to that. And if you don't want to, think about that, you don't want to say that's true, that's fine. I can respect that. But yeah, that's sort of the concept there. So let's say you brought your car, you got a DJ or a VJ or whatever, and maybe you hear some bad news. You go to work, and so your mind is already sort of, and then you get to work, and then somebody is in a bad mood. They're also similar. So now there's two people in a sort of a bad mood. They kind of, cultivate a bad energy, right? And this is how it is. It's like energies copulate. Okay, that's why they've said like one bad apple ruins a bunch kind of thing. And that's the thing. Energies are the things that we project do affect our environment. Okay, it's true. So let's say you get to work, and you don't really have a purpose. So there's say you're just like there because you don't want to be there, but you feel like you have to. Okay, so now your purpose isn't really aligned with what you're doing. So that's going to drain some power from you. So now again, there's that drain occurring. You're going to get home, now you've worked 7-8 hours, maybe more, doing something maybe you don't like, maybe you don't even realize why you're there. Maybe it's a responsibility, and that's respectable. And you didn't eat your breakfast, hearing bad news, bad energies, bad vibes. You just want to drink. Maybe it's like there's a happy hour. Your friends are like, come on, let's have a drink. You're like, yay, happy times. So you get to the bar, and maybe they have a tall boy Sammy Adams for $5, and that's a pretty good deal, right? You're like, oh, I'm gonna take this opportunity right here, just for $5. Chase down this 24-ounce beer and just feel fresh and cool and good. You know what I mean? Energy is good. And you put on, there's a football game. you're just chilling out, you know, you're checking out the scene, you're feeling great, and so your energy's better. You know, but your heart is weaker, you're going to be increasing body fat, you're going to maybe order some fried foods, not essential fats, your nutrition's kind of, and then you may go to sleep late and your sleep isn't going to be restful, right? So see, and this creates a cycle. And your focus, your mental focus, the next day is going to be not, you know what I mean? Mental focus may not be where you want it to be, your production is not going to be where you want it to be, and you may be producing stuff you don't even want to produce. So see, that's going to sort of, that lack of integration is sort of like you're climbing uphill and not even liking the hill you're climbing. There's not a connection to that climb. It doesn't have meaning for you, so you're not triggering your cells to respond from your heart. Like, so if you look at yourself like a machine, like, well, I should work. I tell my body to work. Well, if you were a machine, that would work. But since you're human, you have a spirit, and that spirit affects your body, and that body, there's a constant symbiotic connection. So that's a little bit of how to create energy. I was on the phone with, so a better way would be to wake up, you know, do your affirmations, get to work. Let me just get some important text there. Someone on the training today. Okay, so, well, say you wake up, you know, a better way to do that is, let's just say at least, so you schedule in this time to sleep, and you take some of that, say the biggest excuse someone's going to say is, I don't have money to join a gym, but you're buying the beer, right? And you know what I'm saying? So, and you're telling yourself, I can't join a gym, or I don't have the income. Let's say that's a worst case scenario. Or I don't have time to join the gym or go to the gym. And so I'm saying is, you gotta sell yourself that you do have time, and you're making an excuse. Because if you don't, then you're gonna sell the one you're buying to yourself. You're gonna buy the one you're selling. Because you're going to say, I don't have time, and I can't afford it, and you know, happy hour is at 8, you know, or happy hours at 4, whatever time it is. You know, so you got to say, if you do have time, you're choosing to allocate it in less profitable or rewarding or health building, energy creating choices. That's a better. Now, if you say that vernacular or you use those words, you're going to be in a far better position to take accountability, and at the very least, do something about it a year later, or 2 years later, 3 years later, but at least you're saying it correctly. Because if you tell yourself, I don't have time, I can't afford it, then your brain's going to think that's true, and it's going to act accordingly. Does that make sense? So you have to tell yourself, if you choose that, you say, I am choosing to do this instead of. Find out what you're choosing to do instead of this other way of creating energy. So I'm telling you how to create energy in a scientifically based, proven model, and then let's just say you're like, nah, I'd rather stick to the happy hour. That's what I'm going to do. But then you pay for that because you're not going to have the body you want. You're going to pay for that because you're going to get older faster. You're going to pay for that because you're going to be less focused. You're going to have less connection to your heart, spirit, sort of like the whole integration process of heart, body, mind, spirit, energy production. Okay, you're not going to have, you're messing with your mechanisms, if that makes any sense. And so you're not going to be as finely tuned of a car if you did something else. Okay, that's it for today. Creating energy. Oh, and I brought this up because I was on the phone with a very famous person, and he said that he gave this fitness tip. This person was very stressed out with school, and they said, well, look, you've got to be at least exercising and take care of your body. If you're in a tough spot, but you need to at least do this. And I'll leave you with that. Have a good day. I'll see those of you at the mixer here at 7:30 p.m. It's here Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. tonight. You have a great day till then.